At least 15 dead after strong earthquake hits Ecuador and northern Peru. Magnitude 6.8 quake shakes area 50 miles south of Ecuador's second city, Guayaquil, with one death reported so far in Peru. A strong earthquake shook southern Ecuador and northern Peru on Saturday, killing at least 15 people, trapping others under rubble, and sending rescue teams out into streets littered with debris and fallen power lines. The U.S. Geological Survey reported an earthquake with a magnitude of about 6.8 in the country's coastal Guayas region. Its center was about 50 miles south of Guayaquil, which is a metropolitan area of more than 3 million people. The Ecuadorian president, Guillermo Lasso, said the earthquake had without a doubt generated alarm in the population, and he asked in a tweet for people to remain calm. 12 of the victims died in the coastal state of El Oro and 2 in the highlands state of Azuay, the president's office said in a statement. Authorities reported that at least 126 people were injured. The Peruvian Prime Minister, Alberto Otarola, said a 4-year-old girl had died from head trauma she suffered in the collapse of her home in the Tumbes region, on the border with Ecuador. One of the Azuay victims, in the Andean community of Cuenca, was a passenger in a vehicle crushed by rubble from a house, Ecuador's emergency response agency said. In the coastal province of El Oro, people were trapped under rubble, the agency reported. In the community of Machala, a 2-story home collapsed before people could be evacuated, a pier gave way and a building's walls cracked, trapping an unknown number of people. Machala resident Fabricio Cruz said he was in his third-floor apartment when he felt a strong tremor and saw his television hit the ground. He immediately headed out. "I heard how my neighbors were shouting, and there was a lot of noise," said Cruz, a 34-year-old photographer. He added that when he looked around, he noticed the collapsed roofs of nearby houses. The emergency response agency said firefighters worked to rescue people, while the national police assessed damage, their work made more difficult by downed lines that interrupted telephone and electricity services. Ecuador's government also reported damages to healthcare centers and schools. Lasso said he would travel on Saturday to El Oro. In Guayaquil, about 170 miles southwest of the capital, Quito, authorities reported cracks on buildings and homes, as well as some collapsed walls. Authorities ordered the closure of 3 vehicle tunnels. A report from Ecuador's Adverse Events Monitoring Directorate ruled out a tsunami threat. The earthquake was also felt in Peru, from its northern border with Ecuador to the central Pacific coast. No deaths or injuries were immediately reported. In the northern region of Tumbes, the old walls of an army barracks collapsed. In El Oro, the agency also reported that several people were trapped under rubble. In the community of Machala, a 2-story home collapsed before people could evacuate, a pier gave way and a building's walls cracked, trapping an unknown number of people. Quito-based architect German Narvaez said the houses most affected during earthquakes are those with deficient construction and that lack foundation, structure and technical design. He added that the houses are also old and built with materials such as adobe, which was once frequently used in Andean communities. At critical moments of seismic movements, they tend to collapse, he said. Ecuador is particularly prone to earthquakes. In 2016, a quake centered farther north on the Pacific coast in a more sparsely populated area of the country killed more than 600 people.
Y se chocaron los carros. Mira cómo está. Mira cómo.
Acá se cayó. Este es el estacionamiento donde estábamos aquí en ¿cómo es que se llama? En el centro. Mira, acá se cayó, dañó este carro en este parqueadero. Dañó este carro.
Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Have a nice day.